Howdy folks, welcome back to Railroads Online. We're over here at the cattle farm and we're going to be laying some more track today. You remember I put a switch in to come over here and I'm over here. I laid some track. I really like the fact that it snaps to the places here, the pickup and drop offs. It makes it really easy to put the track down. And then I used the parallel track function to copy this over, and then I built off of that. So I've got a passing siding here. And let's see, if we go to real rail mode, we can fly. So you can see I've just branched off that switch we put in place through a telegraph office down there so we can get over here. And then we've got the one branch that goes over to that side of the farm, and then we got the main line. Comes over here, and then there's a little siding off to that part of the farm. And we're going to head on over to the sawmill, which I don't know if you can see with the YouTube compression, but it's right there under my crosshair. Look way over here. It's over here on the edge of that lake. So that's where we're headed. I've tried to go a few different ways without much success. I'm still getting used to the new track laying tools. They're a little bit persnickety. But we're going to see if we can get some track laid today. Part of the problem is this starts rapidly dropping off here. Quite a bit. I'm thinking I kind of like having that long, but of course the switches don't conform to slope, so that has to be level. That's a little bit of a problem. So we're already like super high up here, and then I want to get over to that. I'm wondering maybe if I swap the switch stand to that side, and we'd have a little more room. So let's go to a delete tool. And we want a right-hand switch with the left-hand switch stand. So we'll throw you on there. And then we just want another one of those, right? We want a right-hand switch with a switch stand on the left. I don't know if that'll get us over there. Maybe if we did minimum curve, that's going to be tight. So let's go to not free mode. Yeah, even if we did I think 50, yeah, that's not going to work, I don't think. Yeah, that's not gonna give us room. We could go 40, but I mean, that's going to limit the equipment we can bring over here. I don't think that's going to work out. Yeah, that's not going to work. We're going to have to go further down the hill before we branch off to this one. So I think what I'll do is I'll come off of here. Where'd my cursor go? There it is. So let's come off of this track. $40 is pretty tight. Let's do 50. And that's level. Let's go to, if we go to normal mode, then we can start following the land down. Let's kind of aim off sort of in that direction, and then we can meet up. And then that's a lot more gradual curve there. In fact, I may want to make that a little more exaggerated. The problem with me in track laying is I go back and forth. Can't make up my mind. Somebody had asked, I just answered a comment on the first video about how did I sell the initial 2 cars you get. I didn't. I went to demolish. I set it to locomotives mode, and I deleted them. So I just took the hit on the cost of those cars. So in case you weren't aware, you can also delete rolling stock. You don't get any money back though. This just goes poof. Let's do that. Back on this mode. Over to about there-ish. And I had another comment that's like, control is the hotkey for straight. I was like, that's not what I mean. If you're on free mode, yeah, that is. But what I was talking about is when you're in this mode, have a hotkey to either reverse the curvature or set it to straight would be super handy. Save you a lot of time. Then I want to do at least 10 meters so we don't have an S curve. So we're going to do a 10 meter section. Probably even do a longer section, couldn't we? It's trial and error. See, now I have to go back to straight. It just would save a lot of key presses if we could have that. And I know I've asked for that in videos. I don't think I've ever made that like an official suggestion anywhere. But I'm pretty sure I've seen it on the Steam group where other people have suggested it. I could be wrong. But hey, Debs, if you happen to be watching my little videos, put that on the quality of life list. You're doing good so far. We're getting a few quality of life things in there. And that comes through. Let's tease this out a little more. I know I'm being too precise about this. I should just call it a day, probably. All right, and then we want to do our 50 curve back. Yeah, something like that, and then we'll match up with the track. That will work. All right, let's get rid of this guy. Doink. And then we want to go downhill a ways, and we're going to need another switch. So we're going to have to come down to here-ish. So we'll have the 20 meter transition, and then we're coming down at 2%. Let's do another, say, 20 meters. Then we'll put our switch in, and we'll see how that turns out. So right hand switch, left hand switch stand. See, and then this has to be level, so... Ooh, that's a really rough transition, isn't it? Yowzers. That is rough. Okay, let's do that differently. Let's get rid of you. We need another transition section because it doesn't look like it transitions itself. So we're going here, and then we're... Oh, I did reset it to 0. Okay. We'll do another 20 meter section. That should give us a better transition. Yeah, that should be a lot better transition to level. There we go. That's better. Okay, and then this guy we can just tie in. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Clicked a little too quick, I think. We'll just do free mode and hook him into here. Whee! And it's going to go all wonky. One thing I've noticed is it can look fine when you're floating up in the air, and then you get down to the ground and it's a flipping roller coaster. So be sure and check when you're doing that new mode, because it can lead to some really funky track. It's not terrible. I think we can live with that. Okay, now we need to head on this way. We could basically go around the hill that way or around the hill that way. And I'm not sure which is the better way to go. So let's do some flying. The problem I ran into was when I went this way, is I got down there and then it was just kind of untenable. So I wanted to kind of see if we could maybe curve around this direction. Keep it around 2%, maybe put in a bridge. But again, you got to watch out. What I'd like to do is come over here now and do a 2%, but what has this done behind me? That's the problem. I don't know. What kind of goofiness is it doing in the back end? And then I've got far enough away I can't see. We really need, I know there's the survey marker thingies, but I've had mixed results with those. What the heck is going on here? Why can't I see the track? Is it just too far? Just can't go that far, I guess. Okay. See, that's going to be like super humped up in the middle. It's just, it gets all weird on you. So you got to watch out. If you're using this mode, how in the world are you doing it? Just practice? That goes to 3%. Then we're into like super steep territory. Whee! Perfect. Ship it. We could go full stupid mode. So I think I'm going to have to do traditional trackling. This doesn't seem to work well when there's big grades involved. It's also possible I'm just doing something wrong, so feel free to let me know in the comments. How do you make this not be silly track? All right, so back to this mode, and we're going to try to keep our ruling grade around 2%-ish. I think that'll work. Let's come down to, say, there. Of course, we got the old problem of once you turn this, your grade, does your grade still change a lot? Did they fix that? Maybe they fixed that. Yeah, maybe that's fixed, because that's not a ton different in the grade like it used to be. Let's see where we need to be, basically. So we need to be... yeah, around a 300 curvature-ish. Could make that work. Now it's showing red just because the road bed is not tall enough. That's fine. We know what we need now, so we can go make it so. We need 1.5% and 300 meter. So what I'm going to do is grab the stone. And I like to have a stone transition when we go to like trestle stuff. So let's come out here, say 30 meters. And I'm going to leave the trees there until we know for sure we're going with this. And then we're going to go with the... should we go with this? Does that still just have the bridge on one side? Or, I mean, the railing on one side? It does, yeah. But it's on that side, which is kind of what I want. Let's see what this looks like. So if we go with that, fly over here. Why are we so much higher? I thought we were lower than that. Oh, it didn't. Dang it. It doesn't remember the grade. I forgot about that. That's why. Redo. Wasn't even paying attention. Stone. It remembers the radius, but it doesn't remember the grade. So we need to be at -1.5%. About 30 meters. And it still doesn't remember the grade, so we're going to put back at -1.5%. There we go. Now we should be over here, kind of where I expected to be. Yeah, like that. Then we'll transition back to stone, say around... We just make this an even 100 meters, just because I like even numbers. Back to stone. Back to -1.5%. Thought it used... Did it used to remember your gradient, or am I just crazy? You don't have to answer that. 30 meters, that'll work. Back to our number 2 rail. And we'll just keep on keeping on. So if we keep on going down at 1.5%, if you don't switch track types, it does remember. So I'm thinking we kind of head across here and follow that down, maybe? Is there going to be too much fill? It's going to be a lot of fill, isn't it? You might want to steepen up the grade. Yeah, I think that's the play here. So this episode is track laying. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. This is my process. It might be ugly, but it's my process. This is how I do it. And I won't have, you know, every single piece of track laying on here because that would be a really boring video series in my opinion. We'll just do some track laying. All right, let's go back to 2%. Go back to our 300 curve. Maybe even start I think I want to keep it to 100 meter max on the main line. And yeah, let's go out to 150, I think makes sense. Out to, say, there. Because we're going to be pulling loads of lumber and timber back from the sawmill, so we don't want a super crazy grade. I think 2% is tenable. It's going to be a lot of fill, isn't it? I'm not loving the amount of fill we're having to do here. So I'm thinking we might switch back to some timber. We have lots of trees around to use, right? At least we used to, before we cut them all down. All right, if we shoot across here, then we can kind of follow this slope down, I think. That's the thought anyway. Yeah, that's really terrible. I don't like it. We're gonna have to do some steep grade. We're just gonna have to do some steeper grade. That ain't gonna work. So starting here, let's see what we can get away with for grade-wise. So, what if we went to this mode? We're trying to follow the land again. We're looking at like 4%, right? Eh, we can do 3 if we come across to here. Just can't see my track anymore. It does lay it, you just can't see it. Interesting. Well, let's follow this thought through for a bit. See what it gets us. And then how bad the track looks. That's pretty dang steep, but we're headed down. I mean, it's not awful. Not completely awful. We're talking 2.6. I think I can do 2.6. I don't know if the Monty can do 2.6. Maybe with 2 cars. We'll find out. We might have to grind out and get some bigger locos. Now the problem is we're going past the sawmill, but we're still heading down. There's some big elevation changes. So if we go back to 3%, it's a pretty broad curve. No, we don't want 10.5%. That's a little much. It's a negative on the 8%. What did I get myself into? Yeah, we need to follow this slope a little better. I think it started going pretty nuts though there at the end. It said 2.5%. I'm not convinced it was 2.5%. That's saying 2.8. That's what it's telling me. Is it lying? I don't know. Get into 4 territory. Now, I haven't been over to the sawmill. I don't actually know where we need to come to the sawmill. As far as where the tracks are. We're just trying to get there. Can we get there from here? We're slowly approaching the sawmill. We're having to lean into the 3% territory pretty hard, though. So we're going to need some mighty engines. All right, what's this looking like over here? We kind of come over here and then cut through the woods. I bet that's going to look like a roller coaster, isn't it? No, it's actually not too bad. As long as you keep an eye on it, this new track mode seems like it does okay. Just gotta be careful not get into roller coaster territory. All right, let's point towards the sawmill. We're getting, nope. Easy there. Easy there, rail laying. Nope, calm down. We're gonna have a lot of trees to cut. Kind of ease back on over here. We're kind of at 0, huh? Why do I get the feeling that's... No, it's level. Okay. We're going to roll with it. Let's go see, what do we have over here at the sawmill? Where do we need to connect up? That's the question. All right, so we're coming in here to load. We're coming over here to offload. Got it. Wonder if we could make a loop off of there. Or we could have maybe some kind of yard over here. It's kind of that direction. What else do we have over here? We have a water well. Okay. So that's where we get our water also. All right, well, we got little connection pieces. Let's use them. Here we go. We'll go straight. We'll go straight off you. You straight. Start going underground a little bit. That's less than ideal. Alright, let's come out to, say, there-ish. We need to start heading that direction. Something like that. It's not awful. We almost have to like go up again, strangely enough. That'll give us an idea where that track is anyway. All right, let's go. We're gonna go straight here. Like that. And then straight. We don't want to get out in the water, but do a 15 meters for now. Yeah, there's like a, it's like a hump right here, fortunately. So there's the track over there. That says it's level-ish. Okay. That needs to go away, but we can fix that. We have the technology. So we want a left-hand switch, probably with the switch stand on the left. Not what I'm thinking. And we need to be on that one. Oh boy. That is ugly. Oh, it said it was level, but it's not. This is what I was talking about with the new track tool. You got to be really careful, or you end up with track like that. That's no good. You're no good either. Go away. Thinking we'll come straight out with a regular track, and we'll see where our turnout needs to be. Okay, we're level. We're 0. Perfect. And then I want to give myself enough room for a switch, so we'll go about there. And then switch. And that's kind of in the weeds, but that's better than what we had before. Now the question is, can we hook up? Can we hook up to the other side? Well, let's find out. So if we go to 40, which is going to be my minimum, sort of hook up. Let's move this back a little bit. This is why I usually do precise numbers, because now I don't remember what that number was. We need to go out a little further, though. That much I know. And we need to get this video wrapped up. It's going on too long. But I think I'm going to probably do weekly videos, so maybe they will be a little longer. They come out on Saturday. Lots of people can watch it on the weekends. See, we get into that kind of weirdness. So I want my switch in to be out there. So I really need the switch itself. Can't be much past that. Let's try 45 meters. It's probably not much past where we already were, is it? Yeah, that's about where we were, actually. Didn't move much. Let's move a few meters back. So we'll just slap a shorter section on here. Say, come out another 5 meters. And we can always relay it. One piece of track. And that's not super terrible. I think we can probably make that work. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Then we will hook up you to you. I like that you can snap when you're in normal track mode too. That's handy. I don't know if you could do that, or maybe you could. Let's see. That's going to get too weird, isn't it? Let's go to normal mode. Much of a pain as it is. We'll do 40. 40 minimum. We come over to there-ish. And I really want a little bit of straight. Doing an S-curve is hard on cars. Yeah, we can get a little bit of a straight in there. See, I just need a button. There just needs to be a key. You know, set it to 0 curvature, or toggle, you know, the opposite curvature. That would be great. All right, let's do a 10 meter. To be pretty generous, but we can. I think we can get straightened back up before we get over to where we have to hook up to this guy. Yeah, that'll work. I think. Oh boy. Be a little tight, isn't it? It's a little tight. We'll see if we can make it work. How bad is this going to be if I just link that up? It's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Alright, let's not do that. Let's try a different approach. Let's take you from here and then come over here and hook up. So you got a little more to work with. Now what? Ooh, that's nasty. No, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, change of plans. We don't need to come out that far. More trial and error, folks. Mostly error. All right, so we want 0%. Oops, I still had that on 100. Nope, that's going to be too nasty. So that's about as close to that building as we want to get, I think. We tighten that up to a 40. Yeah, that's just not going to work. Not going to work the way I want it to work, so we're going to have to forget that. We may have to put the switch just further out there, not right here on this hill. So that's not going to work. We'll get rid of you. Okay, in order to not go through the ground, give you about a 1%. All right, so let's do a 20-meter transition. Then probably about another 30 meters. And then another 20-meter transition back. 20 meter back to 0%. That way that's not super weird. Then we'll just cut in over there. You want to put a... Yeah, I keep going back and forth. But yeah, it lets you select that even if you have track in place. But it doesn't work. Okay, let's redo this for the 10th time. So you were coming up at 1%. That's fine. We're going to have you come out 10 meters. And you're going to keep going up at 1%. But you're going to start curving. At, say, 50. Get you pointed towards where you need to go. Then really you can start transitioning it back to flat here. So come back to 0%. That'll get you pointed over that direction. All right, we're still at 0%. Grade. Let's bring you back to straight. And you're pretty close to that guy. All right, that's not what I want, but that gives me an idea where the track is going to be. All right, you're also at 0%. Let's see, what do we need to be to meet up with this guy? So you're quite a bit higher. You're going to need to be coming up at 1% or so ish. That's fine. We'll call it 0.5%. I think that'll get us by. Let's do 1%. We got to get down to where we can get a switch going. But we need those transitions. So let's do a 20-meter transition. Then we can do another 30 meters. Then we're going to transition back to flat. Over 20 meters. And then can we get a switch stand in here? Or is that going to look just absolutely ridiculous? It's going to be too high. It's going to be floating. We're close though. We're getting there. We're in the ballpark. All right, so let's keep on coming down at 1%. And we'll go out, say, another 40 meters. And then we'll transition back to level. And then are we still way too high? I mean, it's not floating anymore, so there's that. I think that's a bonus. Now what if we just draw track from here over to the switch? How dumb does that look? That works. It's good enough for now. I pronounce it good enough for now. Now we just need to hook into that, which needs some editing for sure. Back to straight. It's a lot of fill, but we'll just pretend like they had a lot of dirt to move. We can replace it with trestle if we so choose. Get rid of you. We'll try to tie back into this at some point. We're level here. We don't need to come down anymore like we did there. So the goal is to get over here and kind of match up. So let's start curviating. Sure, that's a word. I just used it. It's a word. No, we are red for some reason. Why are we red here, folks? Because you're going into the ground? Fair enough. Of course, we'll have to put in a track here at some point that points over to the water. That'll be for another day. Okay, I don't think it's awful. We got a lot of trees to cut now. And we might possibly be able to get to the sawmill. It's a possibility anyway. So I'm going to cut lots of trees, and next episode we will be hauling our first load of logs down here to the sawmill to get processed. If I take a look at money, I've only got 920, so I might actually run some more logs because I'd like to come down here, you know, with the cars ready to take the products back. There's no point in driving all the way down here and not bringing anything back. But I'll do that between episodes, as well as clean up a bunch of these trees. I thank you as always for watching, and I'll catch you in the next adventure. Take care. No, I didn't forget to turn the recording off. I was just seeing if you were still here. Ow.